What's going on, guys? Eric here from MajorLeagueTrading.com, coming at you with a free video here for YouTube, and we got a lot of things to cover in this video. We're going to be talking about a little bit of Forex here with the USD CAD position that I took today, but it wasn't really in the USD CAD. We're also going to talk about a position I took today in the Dow where I didn't wait for confirmations. I'll show you guys that trade. So I ended up losing money on that one. At the same time, I took a position in Disney that I lost money on as well because I didn't wait for the trigger again. So I made two mistakes there on the day. Those total losses added up here for the Dow and in Disney ended up being right at about $2,000 for me in losses. But I ended up coming out ahead here on the day, up $2,533.58. That screenshot is also posted to my Instagram. If you guys are not following me there, then be sure to check that out. But let's get started. First things first, we'll take a look at the S&Ps here. Each and every morning I do a game plan, what I call the morning write-up here, where I talk about my levels and what I'm looking for on the day. And basically what I was talking about here, I'll pull this over and show you guys. As for the levels on the day here, I'm watching 22 quarters, 18s, 12 quarters, 3109s, and 3100s even. You can see here's a screenshot. This is sent out about 8:30, 8:40 each morning. And this is the screenshot from yesterday, well, this morning going into today. Talked about the news announcements, which there really was none. But basically, I base a lot of my trading decision when it comes to individual equities around the overall markets, or over the overall indices, I should say, right? Because if the S&P is moving higher, then chances are I don't necessarily want to be short something unless it's super, super weak, right? Or I'm expecting the S&Ps to pull back. Same thing to the upside here. I'm looking to get long some of these names when S&Ps hit support because that's a good time for them to potentially rally, right? So what I was talking about here, since it looks like we're going to be gapping above these levels, which we did, you can see we gapped up here. Then I'm going to look for an early morning pullback into 22 quarters. If we don't see a good strong reaction from that level, then 31.18s is possible. If 31.18s break, then no more long attempts until we flush down into 3100. Again, that's specifically for the S&Ps. I didn't trade in the S&P futures today. But what I did trade is the USD CAD markets. So USD CAD here, and we'll show you guys this. So USD CAD, these are some levels I had marked up for the day in USD CAD. I've been watching a couple of the currency pairs because they're available to trade in Nadex. And I'm working on the new Nadex course right now. So I went ahead and took a look at some of these this morning. There was a trade that set up here in USD CAD. And while I didn't take it in Nadex, which would have made it a really nice example there of how you can trade Forex using Nadex, I went ahead and opted to trade it with futures. Now, how did I trade the USD CAD market here with futures? Well, I traded it via the 6C. So this is the Canadian dollar future, and what this is going to be is the exact opposite of what the USD CAD is doing. You can see USD CAD here rallies big on this bar, the 6C drops big on this bar. So I was able to pull out $760 here from the 6C or the USD CAD move, and all I caught was the move from right here up to right there. So from 1.32049 up to 1.32287. I just caught this little bit of move here from about 9 o'clock this morning till about 11 o'clock there. So in basically 2 hours was the window for that trade. Now it continued to run. It hit my upper levels up here, 32643 and 32687. So USD CAD market ended up ripping. And the reason I took this trade is super important here. I took this trade because we had traded right down into a level I was waiting for, 1.31903. And you can see there's a really nice bottoming tail there. If we look specifically on the hourly chart, what you'll notice is, and we'll blow this up here, we had a really nice bottoming tail down into that level, rallies back, manages to hold closes, rallies back higher on the very next bar, complete reversal bar here, up through the prior level, 32147s, and then from there, it was like, boom, it's going to 32287s. If you guys want to see the chart on this, I posted it in the chat, and then I also posted it on Instagram, and then a little blog or a little blurb saying that it was going to 32287s. Should have called it up to 32643 to 32687s, but I did not know it was going to get this type of reaction today. But I would venture to say that a lot of that movement here today, at 1 o'clock specifically, was based around the fact that Governor Council Member Wilkins was speaking on some Canadian stuff there at 1 o'clock, and that just so happens to kind of line up here with this big spike at 1 o'clock there, 1300 Eastern time. So that was my trade there in the USD CAD markets. Again, trading essentially the Forex pair, but using currency futures. I don't actually trade the Forex markets here, but I will trade them using currency futures, and I will trade them using Nadex. Now, moving on to the next position I had here, I had a trade in the Dow. Now, again, this trade, so 6C was a winner here, not as much to really learn from there. The Dow here was a loser. So Dow is down $1,005 on the day here. And if we kind of switch this over, you can see here the Dow P&L on the day down $1,005, right? So what did I do in here? Well, I didn't wait for confirmations. So I started actually looking to get long the Dow right in through here, right? We had this nice steep sell-off here this morning coming in at 10.05 here. And what I saw is, okay, if we can get a bounce here back up through 971s, market can hold here coming into the 1030 time frame, and we'll be good to go. That didn't happen. I also punched it into the chat room, the Discord chat there. If the market doesn't hold right here, then bye-bye. Next level below 2788. You can see that level did get hit there. But anyways, I started taking a position here in the Dow, actually on this bar right there. So this bar came down, had the divergence, rallied back up. You can see traded highs here of 27,959s. Prior next bar traded highs of 27,960s. So I took this position right in through here. I got filled at 27,953s. And then from there, the market started to sell off on me, and I ended up getting stopped out right down in through here when the market continued to drop. So I typically like to wait for the bid to lift over the prior bar's high of that candle. In this case, the Dow only ticked up to the ask there, and the bid never got above 27,959, meaning the bid never moved to 27,960s, and I let this run just a little bit further than the initial stop there, and it didn't trigger. So kind of a combination of things there ended up leading to a $1,005 loss in the Dow. Now, at the very same time that I did that, and I wasn't waiting for a trigger here, I did the exact same thing in Disney, where I took a position, and Disney here on the day, you can see ended up losing $988, right? So I lost money in Disney, I lost the money in the Dow, made some money in the USD CAD, or the currency futures for the Canadian dollar, and what I did in here was the same thing. I was trading this actually right in through here this morning. So about the same time that I'm taking the Dow position, I'm also taking Disney long. And basically what I said is that it needed up over 148.39s. This was going to be this prior kind of pivot right here, 148.39s. I said you can take it a little bit early right in through here. You can see we popped up. We traded a high right here, 148.19s. Opening print, 148.18s. Held us, stopped us, and drop this market back to the downside. So again, I did not wait. We had one test of 148.85s. Again, that's why I was willing to buy the pullback. But I didn't wait for the move back over the 148.39s in order to actually get the confirmation and take this position. I stepped into it a little bit early, and as you guys can see, that ended up costing me on the day. So this isn't a position that I should have had until later in here, when we finally broke back above 148.39s there. You can see it gives us a little bit of topping tail there first, rallies up, pulls back. Where does this pullback end up coming to? 148.34s. Again, we needed to break this trend, and we hadn't done that when I took the position. So I didn't mess with Disney the rest of the day though, and kind of left it alone. Next up on the list here is going to be Facebook. I took a really small position in Facebook. I did not like it, so I went ahead and trailed it out there, and Facebook was good for 45 bucks on the day. So Facebook here, what I ended up taking was the first pullback here. I saw this bottoming tail forming and then this rally, And then as this bar formed and was rallying, looking like it was going to trade up here to 200, traded 199.89s. And then when it started really kind of cracking back down through here, under 199.58s there, I went ahead and trailed this position out. Now, next up on the list, KRTX. And this thing is absolutely crazy. If you guys have not already seen this chart, literally 2 days ago, this stock was at 17 bucks. Today it closed at $124 with a high on the day of 152 bucks. I guess they had some trials or something come out about a drug they're working on for schizophrenic people, and apparently this thing just absolutely exploded. Now, I took one trade in this today. It was super wide spreads. I made a whopping $45.58 on the day here in this KRTX, and I was long from about $95. What I ended up taking was the break right in through here of this trend. You can see this break here over 92.36s. I ended up letting this bar close and then stepping in right on this bar 10.15 as this thing was starting to break out. I stepped in really small. The spreads were like 70 cents to 90 cents wide at times. This thing was just whipping. So I went ahead and just closed the position out. Again, you can see good for 45 bucks on the day. I don't recommend trading these types of stocks. Honestly, I just kind of wanted to test the waters there with 100 shares on this thing. But at the end of the day, this thing is a mover. There's none to borrow on Thinkorswim, so if you're trying to short this stock, it's not going to work. And one, I wouldn't do that at the moment, because I would have said that this thing was extended yesterday at 100 bucks, and then today it pushes up to 152 bucks. So don't fight the trend. I even talked about that in the morning write-up today as well, that the trend is your friend. Here you guys go. You can see that. The trend is your friend. This is the write-up from today. All right. So KRTX, that thing is crazy. And then where I actually ended up making some money today that turned everything around for me was in Roku here. So Roku and I are friends again now. And we were able to pull $3,676 out of Roku today, trading the 150 calls. And what I saw in Roku here, so I have my levels marked up here. And these are levels I put in the pre-market session before the market even opens, each and every morning for the stocks I'm looking at, and also for the futures, the S&Ps, Nasdaq, Russell, Dow. 155.62 was an important resistance level. 149.65 was an important support level. Over 155.62s, we could run back to gap fill. Under 149.65s, we had the potential for a flush down to 139.09s. And what you'll notice is that we could not get a big flush one way or the other. We tried, but we just really couldn't get it going. So the trade I ended up taking in here is right through here on this pullback to 10.55. We traded right back down into the 149.65 level. Now, why was I willing to take that position? Well, number one, it's at 10.55. So we have the first hourly close on the day, which closes above 149.65s. Now, granted, at the same time, it did close beneath 155.62s. So you can make the argument that, yes, it's bullish because it closed above this support level, but yes, it's also bearish because it closed below this resistance level. For me, we're down at 149.65, which ends up being support. And again, like I said, I always like to time everything with the markets. If we look at 10.55 here, where's the market trading down into at that point? We actually have a divergence in place, which I talked about in the chat room as well, and even put in there that I was taking the Roku position to the long side, and then I actually had to step away, and I managed the rest of this trade from my phone. So I put in the actual order here at the desk, and then literally at 11 o'clock I had to leave. I had an appointment, and I managed the rest of the position from my phone. But what's important to note here is, one, Roku is potentially putting in a higher low on the day here, and we have a divergence down here. You can see all the markets are making new lows. The S&Ps are coming into that 12-quarter support level, right? 1275 traded, so 2 ticks prior to that. Nasdaq here had a support level at 12 quarters, much like the S&Ps, traded a low of 1250s, and the Dow had a support level here of 27,888s. We were trading right on that level. But notice the Russell here. I talked about this probably 3 or 4 times today in the chat room. Russell was the standout market. It wasn't breaking down on lows like the rest of the markets. And oddly enough, Russell, even with a 6-point pullback at the end of the day, closes green 0.42% here. You guys can see this right here on the charts. Russell closes 0.42% to the positive today. S&P's closed down 0.11%, Nasdaq up 0.07%, and the Dow here down 0.40%. So when the Russell was kind of doing that and kind of standing out saying, hey, I don't want to go any lower, I'm like, okay, this is a good opportunity, good low risk to pick up Roku down here. And basically I can put a stop in just below this tail, right? This tail pushes down to 149.46. So 20 cents we pushed through the level, 19 cents if somebody wants to correct me. We pushed through this low, right? Or pushed into this low and through this level by 19 cents. So I took the position here and I think I ended up getting filled on these 150 calls. Yeah. So I got filled on the 150 calls. I was buying them for 560, 569, 567, and 565s. Is where I got filled on those. And then I took partial profits at 650 and 651, and then the rest up at $8.35. So I was buying these options basically for $5.65 on the day. I sold some at $6.51 there, so about 80 cents or so. And then I sold the rest out at $8.35. And it was good for, again, like we talked about here on the day, good for $3,676 there in Roku. Now again, that position had a bunch of these other kind of things coming together for it, but I was just patient. I had already kind of broken the rules on Disney. I'd already kind of broken the rules on the Dow. Didn't wait for the triggers, didn't wait for all these things, and we had the market selling off into support. Roku fit the bill. It was a low risk entry because we're right down into support, and we've got targets above up here at 155.62s. This is actually where I got out of this position at, was right up into 155.62s. If you look at the options chain, they were trading for about $8.35 at that moment in time. If we kind of take a look here, you can see this is right there at 12 o'clock. Right here at 12 o'clock, you can see the high of this option was $8.72. The low was $8.30, and I got out for $8.35 like we just talked about. So anyways, super long video here. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. A ton of content, ton of things thrown at you. But again, that's how I trade, with level to level, combining that with the futures, the stocks, the options, Forex, Nadex. It really doesn't matter. Once you learn how to trade the charts and how these things move together, then you can pretty much trade whatever you would like, as long as there's volume, of course, and all of those things that somebody will correct me on later. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please, if you would, click that subscribe button and give me a thumbs up on this video if you enjoyed it. Also, if you want future content, questions you want answered, anything like that, please feel free to leave those in the comment section below. And again, there's a full description with links and details, how to get in touch with me, how to get to the Instagram, how to join the Discord, all of these fun things. So feel free to go ahead and check those out as well. And I will see you guys on the next video. Take care and trade.